In aero modelling competitions, having several dozen pilots at one event is nothing unusual, but 27 models of the same type is a unique world record. Swiss model making enthusiasts from the Chocofly group published a video from this unique meeting of almost 30 radio controlled models of Diana gliders, which are copies of some of the best gliders in the world produced in Poland. We've got another great news story from the aero modelling world today, so if you're a fan, please stay with us. It's episode 2 of season 5 of the #1 news feed for air sports and aviation. My name's Regan Tetlow and this is Air Sports News. We can always count on the Red Bull teams to bring the awesome, and this time wingsuiters and speed flying pilots provide a unique view of this downhill ski run. Morsfeli, Halsberg Kanti and Steinheim are iconic sections of the infamous downhill run in Kitzbühel and are feared even by the most hardened pros in the Ski World Cup. Yet shortly before the skiers hurl themselves down the world famous course, the Red Bull skydive team drop in on the slopes for a high speed, low level fly through wearing wingsuits and parachutes, and it looks absolutely superb. So we have the final results from this year's edition of the Sandstorm competition organised by In-Flight Dubai. In the two-way FS category, the trophy for the first place goes to the SV team. Windor from Impura Brava, Spain won in the two-way dynamic category. Dunia Halajelian took first place in the solo freestyle and free fly, and the E-Bash team won in the four-way VFS. The format of the Sandstorm contest is commonly known as a scrambles event, where competitors are split into random teams made up of different individual skill levels. Previous events have welcomed over 100 competitors from around the world. And now we have news about an aero modelling world record set in the USA just a few days ago. A California man has set a new speed record for a radio-controlled aircraft by using an aerodynamic oddity to push his glider to 548 miles per hour. Spencer Lazenby used a technique called dynamic soaring to whip his heavily reinforced composite glider to almost Mach levels over a mountaintop near Los Angeles. The Santa Ana winds were blowing at 65 miles per hour up the slopes of the Parker Mountain, setting up a correct conditions for the dynamic soaring. By performing loops that exploit the boundary layers of the moving air, the pilot can use the energy of the wind to accelerate the aircraft to speeds much higher than the winds itself. My first special guest this week is an outstanding writer, pilot and communicator who enjoys the respect of tens of thousands of pilots worldwide. He's also an established adventure pilot and Red Bull X-Alps athlete. Please meet Gavin McClurg.
Well, what a few decades you've had, Gavin. You're going into the Red Bull X-Alps this year for the 4th time.
That's correct. Yeah, if we can get over there, fingers crossed, if COVID allows. But yeah, the race kicks off June 20th, and I've got the same team as I've had the last couple ones, and this will be our 4th one. So yeah, I've just been, Ben, my trainer's been burying me this week. You can see it in my face. I'm pretty tired, but it's going really well. Training's going great.
How many's in the team, Gavin? How many's involved?
There's 5 of us. We've got we've got a new guy this year that's handling all the content. So he'll do he's a Nat Geo photographer and videographer. His name's Ben Horton. So he'll be chasing us as well and just handling all the social media and the pictures and the video and all that kind of thing, so we don't have to worry about it. And then I've got a strategy guy named Revis, who's a really good pilot. And then I've got my trainer and my ground guys.
What an adventure for the team.
It's awesome. I mean, it's such a great, I keep saying, okay, that's it. I'm not going to do this again. But, there's lots, it's the scenery. It's where the race gets you. It's all that. It's all what you imagine. It's the most incredible adventure ever. But really why I keep coming back is those guys. You're kind of going to war for 12 days with your best buds. And it's hard to create relationships like that outside of something that's that intense. It's really very, very special.
Well, over those years, Gavin, from being that young kid in Australia to where you are now, would you change anything?
Oh, great question. I always ask this on my podcast. I should be ready for this. I'm going to steal from somebody else. One of my guests, Jeff Shapiro, said no, because I wouldn't change anything for the fear of changing everything.
Yeah.
And I think everything happened in the right progression. It's all worked out, knock on wood. And, luckily, I think I got into flying at the right time. Now, one of my regrets, I guess, in a sense, is that I look at people that I'm racing with in the X-Alps. These guys all started when they were 10, and they got their license the first day they could when it's legal at 16 for most, if you're Swiss or French, so Kriegel's been flying since he was 9 years old. I didn't pick up a paraglider until I was 36. So I definitely missed out, but knowing who I was in my 20s and the risks that I took back then, it's kind of a miracle I made it through that.
The whole interview with Gavin can be found right now on our YouTube channel, so don't forget to have a watch after the show. The International Skydiving Commission released some exciting news to share from the ISC plenary meeting. First of all, ISC confirmed some of the events in 2022. For example, the Indoor World Cup in Belgium, the World Championships of Styling Accuracy in the Czech Republic, the World Championship of Artistic Events, Formation Skydiving, Canopy Formation, Canopy Piloting, Speed Skydiving and Wingsuit Flying in Eloy, Arizona, USA. For this year's calendar, the Paris Ski European Championships and the World Cup are confirmed and will be held in Tanay, Russia. ISC also decided about the 2023 events and locations for indoor skydiving in Slovakia, formation skydiving and artistic events in Norway, and style and accuracy in Belarus. Now we have some great news from the Coupe du Monde Gordon Bennett. After the COVID cancellation of the event in 2020, the Polish Aero Club confirmed that this year the contest will take place from the 19th to the 28th of August. The launch site will be in Wrocław in Poland. After the opening ceremony on the following day, the balloons will launch from the Pythonese horse racing track. The fiesta will take place on August the 20th to the 22nd in Wrocław. The Gordon Bennett Coupe du Monde is the most recognisable and challenging gas balloon race ever created, and it's also the oldest air sport in the FAI calendar. The goal is to fly as far as possible, finding the best winds and conditions. The best teams can spend all day, day after day in flight, the record being 4 nights non-stop in the air, travelling more than 2,000 kilometres. American robotics is now allowed by the US Federal Aviation Administration to fly drones weighing up to 20 pounds in rural areas without a human observer or a pilot nearby. In fact, the pilots might be thousands of miles away. The company is able to install Scout systems in Nevada and Kansas and remotely operate them from Boston without needing local pilots or visual observers. The future is now. My next guest has spent almost 20 years in and around air sports. He is currently managing the sporting development of the exciting new Saudi project Neon. Before that, he was involved in skydiving centres in Europe and Dubai, ex-Dubai and the Jetman team. He spends his free time now paramotoring and base jumping. Let's catch up with Joshua Caird.
Whenever I see what you're doing next, I think, wow, yeah, he's moving on really well. He's racking up through the books. And here's one I love on your Instagram bio. I was reading that, an adventurer and an escapist. I love that word.
I've been very lucky. I've been very lucky over the years to always land on a project that's, very thrilling, challenging, exciting. It's took me to new places around the world. I don't know how that happens. You could say it's luck, fate, or the people that you meet on the journey. But yeah, it's been an incredible ride. But yes, an escapist. Running away from my roots as a child in Scotland.
Yeah, have a good one.
Originally, I was a gas heating engineer, so I think the original escapist comes from that, running away from the engineer in me to live the good life.
You started as a skydiver, but you've been through a lot of air sports, paragliding a lot recently. I've seen a lot of base jumping from you.
Yes, I'm a mixed bag, so I'm not professional at any one thing. I'm just amateur at everything. So no, at the moment I skydiving currently, base jumping, paramotoring a lot, kite surfing loads here. Yeah, it's just all the fun sports. Still enjoying it, still love learning. I just learned kite surfing last year, and that's incredible. It's a great sport to learn. And yeah, just year on year, it just gets more exciting. There's more sports out there. And like a lot of the sports that we're into, it doesn't matter how long you're in it. You're always leveling up and you're always learning something new. So it's all an adventure. Yeah, it's good fun.
That was quite an interesting base jump, the one you posted the other day. That looked quite low. Wasn't too high, that one.
Yeah, so there's incredible spots here in Neon to base jump. Never been jumped before, so where we are is largely untouched by man. There's no one living here. There's very little civilization. But over the years, I think it goes back 3 or 4 different civilizations, pre-Arabic, pre-Islam, sorry, and it goes all the way back. It's an ancient land. Yeah. But when you go and discover it, and you're adventuring out in the desert, it's forgotten world. So it's an incredible place to base jump.
Josh is a treasure trove of extraordinary aviation stories. So if you want to find out more from him, check out our YouTube channel for the full-length interview with this amazing athlete. British pilot Rodney Bloys sadly passed away at the beginning of 2021, a respected and well-known figure of the Federation and aviation community. He is remembered fondly by his many friends. Rodney fulfilled many functions with the FAI over the years. At the time of his death, he had been the president of the FAI General Aviation Commission and the FAI Vice President since 2015 and representative of the FAI General Air Sports Commission since 2016. Prior to that, Rodney was GAC alternate delegate for the UK from 1998 and then delegate from 2009, as well as a member of the GAC Precision Flying Subcommittee. We will miss you, Rodney. Well-known hang gliding pilot Tony Marti released an amazing video from his outstanding flights over the Dolomite Peaks, taking off from Corradella in the Val di Fassa region of Italy. Have a look. Alright, now it's time for our Hero of the Week. City in the Sky, a reference to the fact that at any one time there are 1 million people aloft, is a fascinating look at every imaginable facet of aviation. A series of 3 episodes by PBS, it takes viewers behind the scenes of commercial air travel today, from how your baggage actually moves onto the plane, how the big jets were assembled in the first place, to air traffic control around the world. This series is an excellent primer for all things travel and features excellent production values. Just sit in the jump seat for the takeoff of a Lufthansa A380 and you'll be hooked. Available right now on Netflix. On the 25th of January 2004, the Mars Exploration Rover B, named Opportunity, landed at Meridiani Planum on the surface of Mars and rolled into a small crater approximately 22 meters in diameter. The crater would later be named Eagle Crater, and the landing site is named Challenger Memorial Station. The site is on the opposite side of the planet from Opportunity's twin, Mir-A. On the 25th of January 1946, test pilot Jack Willems made his first unpowered glide flight of the XS-1 supersonic research rocket plane. It was the first of 3 XS-1 rocket planes built by Bell for the US Army Air Corps to explore flights at speeds and at beyond the speed of sound. The airplane had been rolled out of Bell's plant at Buffalo, New York on the 27th of December 1945. On the 23rd of January 1939, a Curtiss Hawk pursuit plane, one of 100 being constructed for the French government, substantially exceeded all known speed records with a free dive of more than 575 miles an hour. The tests were made by Lloyd Child, chief test pilot of the Buffalo Curtiss plant. On the 27th of January 1959, the Corvair 880 made its first flight. It is an American narrow-bodied jet airliner produced by the Convair division of General Dynamics. It was designed to compete with the Boeing 707 and the Douglas DC-8 by being smaller but faster, a niche that failed to create demand, and only 65 Convairs were produced. That's all, folks. If you have any questions, please use our email, and you can also register on our airsportsfan.com platform or contact me on Twitter. As always, we appreciate a like and a share if you've enjoyed the show, and I'm already looking forward to seeing you back here next week. So remember, as always, stay safe and keep your eyes on the skies. American robotics is now allowed by the US Federal Aviation Administration.